My name is Luke Truman. I'm a senior program manager at the New England Environmental Finance Center based in Portland, Maine. Even the highest performing craft beverage manufacturer is extremely resource intensive. Fortunately, there are opportunities in every facility to save time, resources, and money, often without having to spend a lot of money to get there. BetterBev is a multi-region collaboration between EPA-funded pollution prevention grant recipients, supporting craft beverage manufacturers through technical assistance, as well as providing recognition for their efforts. The idea is to treat the recognition process as a jump-off to allow the manufacturer to assess their operations, to grow in awareness, and to seek continuous improvements. In order to achieve recognition, manufacturers go through a self-assessment workbook, which covers 8 sections, and in those sections they kind of go through their operation as a whole to get a clear understanding of where they line up. If they meet a minimum threshold of 30% of the possible points, then they will have achieved recognition. Now, the criteria themselves include raw materials assessment, water, wastewater, solid waste, energy and emissions, cleaning and sanitizing, packaging, as well as environmental culture. And so what we're trying to do is really get a snapshot and understand the operations, as a whole. Bissell Brothers, for example, uses their CO2 from their bright tanks to control the head pressure of their fermenters, thus saving time and resources.
My name is Paul Upham. I'm Director of Brewing Operations here at Bissell Brothers. Been here for 7 years up in Portland, Maine, and moved up from the Boston area originally. So essentially BetterBev, for our purposes, is like a free consultant program that we can work with. So they'll come into our facility and kind of work with us and do a walkthrough and try and establish things that we could be doing better. But the main things they focus on is stewardship, continuous improvement, and operational efficiencies. So they act as a really good second set of eyes where they can kind of come in, offer some counter ideas to how we're already doing things, offer some suggestions for things that we could look at, and provide resources for contractors, initiatives, incentive programs that could save us money, things like that. So here at Bissell Brothers, we have a house yeast that we use for 80% of the beers we make here. It's a house ale yeast. But that opens some doors for us to be a little more efficient with our cleaning practices in the production side. So on our bright tanks, we actually keep them closed and under pressure for up to 6 cycles if the yeast stays the same. If we change yeast, we have to tear down the entire thing and do a caustic cycle. But if it's staying the same, we're doing an acid cycle under pressure and then sanitizing under pressure as well. And that allows us to use 1/3 of the water that we would use if it was a hot alkaline cycle. And it allows us to not have to purge the tank again with CO2, which can take hours and a lot of carbon dioxide to do that. Last year we launched this product, Bissell Bubbles. It's our hop water here, but we launched it in collaboration with Sebago Clean Waters, which is an organization here in Maine that raises money and purchases land to protect it. 5% of all can sales of this product goes directly to them. This is a product that we love and we love offering. Yeah, I'm proud to be part of it. I think what we hope to see from other breweries as well, and people who are potentially interested in working with BetterBev, is just to kind of follow the same path we did. We started somewhere and we didn't know anything, and we just started asking questions of how can we be better at recycling? We hope that we can, inspire and be a resource for other breweries as well, the same way that larger breweries were for us. Honestly, it doesn't seem like there's any reason to not work with someone like this when it's a free program. It really brings a lot to the table. And if you're open to challenge your ideas on things like that, it can really provide a lot of benefits to your facility.
My name is Dave Love. I'm the Sustainability Manager at Maine Beer Company. I've been here since 2018, so I'm just over 6 years now. Yeah, here to talk about BetterBev. I'm excited to talk about all the solutions that we've sort of incorporated into our business strategy and production SOPs, and how we can kind of help others to join in our journey. So one of the big things that we were looking at is, we had set our own benchmarks, we set our own baselines for what we can do to improve, and we felt good. We felt good about the successes that we've had in the brewery. What the BetterBev workbook did is it sort of brought out, yes, this is good for your brewery, but is this good for the planet as a whole? We're really able to dive into our practices that we would otherwise take for granted and say, yes, this is important. Yes, we need to continue to invest in this system. It shouldn't be a passive system. So projects for us are looking at, what's a simple problem? We currently use a ton of water. Packaging uses arguably the most water of any brewery practices or any brewery departments, and that's usually just to clean. So what opportunities do we have to reuse water, to capture water? A gray water system is very, intense to install and commission. So we're looking at, how do we solve this one specific problem? And that one specific problem was, we are dumping water to the ground. You can stand by the bottle filler and you can see water just going into the drain, and it's clean water for the most part. What if we start to recapture our water and bring it back to the external bottle rinser, so that way we're washing the external parts of the bottle with the water that was otherwise used and discarded to wash the inside. And that alone has saved us around 60,000 gallons of water a year. And it's for the low cost of a few hoses, a bucket, and a well pump from Harbor Freight. And so these are like small scale solutions that are like, of course we can put that together. That's easy enough. But if we kind of start to tackle these small issues one at a time, then suddenly we have this whole brewery system that's built around reuse and recapture of natural resources. It is always interesting when you can attach such meaning to a symbol. So I'm no graphic designer. My art's terrible. Image recognition is honestly pretty bad with me. But there are certain symbols I look for, like V Corp, 1% for the planet. And being able to associate a brand immediately with that sort of ethos is always really important to me. And so, when you're talking about different products on the same shelf and you see one that has, the sustainable certification, you see something that you recognize, that I would personally say like, oh, that's another BetterBev product. Like, of course, I'm going to actually look more into it, because I know that you can't cheat your way around it the same way you do for 1% for the planet and B Corp. It's a very rigorous process, and you have to be able to back up everything you do with data and with facts. So it at least shows that that company is going to be putting their best foot forward and trying to prove, yes, we are not only trying to be as sustainable as possible, but we're working constantly to improve that standard.
My name is Tom Ruff. I'm the founder of Orange Bike Brewing Company, and we are Portland, Maine's first dedicated gluten-free brewery. As a new brewery startup owner, there's so many things going on, so many decisions that have to be made. It's very overwhelming. And as ambitious we were with our B Corp certification goals, our sustainability goals, at the end of the day, it became very difficult for me to focus on building the business, but also doing the sustainability work. And that's when I got introduced to the BetterBev program. And that resource alone, as a free partner and outlet for me to go to when I had questions, concerns, advice on how to do things. They raised their hand. Anything that we needed, they would jump in and help, and they would lead for us and support us, which for me, it allowed me to continue to pursuing our sustainability work when otherwise we never would have been able to do that. As an organization from day one, we have been committed to continuous improvement. And a lot of our initial goals that we had, unfortunately, they were not realistic for us due to us being a startup and for financial reasons or capacity. But for us, it's one day at a time. What can we do today to make our organization better than it was yesterday? And instead of getting frustrated and throwing up our hands, we're actually doing something, whether it's big or small. And we made a commitment to find a way to not use plastic for our carriers. And it did take a longer time, and BetterBev was able to help us research and test the compostable carriers. And within 7 to 8 months, we had 100% backyard compostable carriers, which we're really proud of. One thing that helped me, probably more than anything when we were starting to do our sustainability work, is the BetterBev team came in and did a full assessment of our brewery. And they looked at everything from the front of the house, back of the house, electricity, and they identified all the different areas that we could take action on, or what some of the concerning areas were, and laid out a roadmap for us, and then also helped us identify the low-hanging fruit that we actually could take on. So to have that as a resource, I would encourage every brewery owner, if you have not engaged with the BetterBev program, you have nothing to lose by having them come in and do a walk around with your brewery and just give you a high-level overview.
The process itself is very achievable and not overly complex. The cool thing about BetterBev is it comes at no cost to the manufacturers themselves. Because every organization or every manufacturer is going to be a little bit different, the idea is to kind of meet them where they're at and really provide an understanding of the entire operation and also the variances in size. So regardless of whether you achieve recognition or not, you are now part of a project that exists to support manufacturers. We also have a very large community of BetterBev recognized facilities that are all open books and are very happy to support each other. And so the participation is kind of the joining of a club that is all moving in one direction and wishing to not only save resources and increase profitability and really innovate craft beverage manufacturing as a whole. Together, we can craft a greener future.